I'm going to pause. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a tendency to forget to say that by the time I get here. I'm going to pause this morning because I'm doing something this morning for the first time in 40-some odd years in ministry. And that is, I am preaching an entire sermon that some of you have heard parts of already this year. And I just as a word of explanation, on Easter Sunday at the sunrise service, I shared a message which was a small section of a larger sermon. And the story behind the sermon is, and I shared part of it with a couple of people, I retired obviously in June of 2015. In February of 2016, I was undergoing open heart surgery. And Easter came rolling down the pipe before I was completely recovered, and I didn't have a place that I was preaching anyway. And it was going to be the first Easter in more years than I could care to remember when I was not going to preach on Easter Sunday. And so I found myself sitting in my study one day saying, now if I was going to preach this Easter Sunday, what would I say? And so the sermon kind of was gifted to me, but it never got preached. And then I thought I would share it at the sunrise service. And so some of you who were there at the sunrise service will have heard part of it, but there were enough comments about the message that I thought I might break Ted Raymond's rule number 1 about repeating sermons in the same church anyway. To share the whole message with you this morning. So I apologize to those of you who will be hearing some of the same things this morning. But I hope the rest. I hope the rest of you will be blessed by the experience. We come at this time in our service every Sunday to a time of corporate and public prayer, and I do, as always, begin with silent prayer for people to share the needs and concerns of their hearts and of their lives, but we also take a moment to ask if there are concerns, if there are joys, if there are hopes and expectations or needs that anyone would like to share with the church family. Yes?
My nephew, Peter Wright, and his family.
You say that again? A little?
My nephew, who is Peter Wright, and his family.
All those dealing with addiction, that they can be strong, fight the disease, and see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I would be bold to ask for prayers for my small extended family who have known some very difficult problems and some very difficult issues right now, and I appreciate the patience of the church family with the fact that I was away an extra day this past week to deal with some of them. So I thank you for your patience, and I ask for your prayers. And let us be. I didn't want to cut anybody off. Was there anybody else? Let's be together in a spirit of prayer. Almighty and everlasting God, Creator and preserver of all things, we humbly come before you along this well-traveled pathway of public prayer. And we come not because you have called us to come, but because you have invited us to come and share with you those issues which are upon our hearts. And we do so in the confidence that you hear our prayers and that you do respond as you understand our needs, as you understand our will, your will, and as you understand our free will and the choices that we can make. We come in prayer asking that you would make known your ways to all people, your saving health to all nations. Moreover, we pray for the health of your church here in this community and throughout the world. Guide us as a family of faith into the ways of service and compassion and love. And hold us in the unity of spirit and the bonds of peace as we seek to walk in this world along the pathways that you set before us. We ask for your forgiveness for the times in our lives when we have failed to live according to your word and your will. And we ask as well that you will not just pour your grace upon us, give to us your forgiveness, but that you will give us as well the strength and courage of our convictions to strive ever to do better as we seek to follow you, as we seek to live our faith in this world. Oh God, we live in a complex and complicated world. And we have two families within our church family that I would place before you on this day, asking that you will be a source of guidance and direction, of strength and encouragement, of hope. So many of the issues of life are so complicated and so difficult as we seek to deal with them. But we know that we need your help. And we need your peace, which passes all understanding in our lives and in the lives of our families. Oh God, we live in a world in which there are so many temptations, so many ways in which we can turn aside from your paths. So many needs within us that we respond to by using substances and deeds and tasks that bring to us peace and joy, or at least the illusion of peace and joy for the moment. Be with all those who struggle to find their way through the binding chains of addiction. Help them to see the way, the truth, and the life that is found in you. That their minds, that their hearts, that their lives may be free. Almighty God, we were gathered in this place not 24 hours ago to remember and to honor with a family one who has been lost in this world. And we pray pray that you will be with all those who struggle with loss as a source of comfort, as a source of encouragement, as a source of hope. That you will be as well with all those who struggle with issues of physical and emotional well-being, and that you will be with them as a source of healing, and be with all the people who seek to minister to them in their families and in places where they go to find healing. Direct the efforts of all those who seek to share your love through their deeds of compassion and understanding. God, we come to you this morning, frail in words, but sincere in worship. Be with us, guide us, be present to meet the needs of all those that we have laid before you, and be with us as well as we seek to share your love with a needy world. We ask this in Jesus' name, and we pray together in the words he taught us, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
New Testament reading this morning is from 1 Corinthians, 15th chapter, and can be found on page 1001 in your Bible. For I delivered to you as of first importance what I also received, that Christ died for our sins in accordance with the Scriptures, that he was buried, that he was raised on the third day in accordance with the Scriptures, and that he appeared to Cephas, then to the 12. Then he appeared to more than 500 brethren at one time, most of whom are still alive, though some have fallen asleep. Then he appeared to James, then to all the apostles. Last of all, as to one untimely born, he appeared also to me. And from Mark, Gospel reading. Chapter. And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week they went to the tomb when the sun had risen. And they were saying to one another, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the door of the tomb?" And looking up, they saw that the stone was rolled back. It was very large. And entering the tomb, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, dressed in a white robe, and they were amazed. And he said to them, "Do not be amazed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him? But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him, as he told you." And they went out and fled from the tomb, but trembling and astonishment had come upon them. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. Here ends the readings. Our hymn of preparation